right, we are live. We have the Mike show going on. We got Mike O, who's supposed to be, my co-host through this road to the national. And also we have Mike Moorhan, which I just thought it'd be the right thing to do. The only person I know has a countdown on his phone for the show.
Let's get an accurate.
Yeah.
64 days, 16 hours.
That's awesome. I appreciate you joining us. I do have some other questions. We're going to talk about some other things before we get into the national. But I see you're taking a little weekend vacation from your vacation you just had, or
I'm out at the ranch right now.
Right.
Mike's at the ranch too, walking around. That's what they call that part of Philadelphia that he lives in, the ranch.
That's right. Well, last week he had somebody yelling at him. I don't know what's going on. But he's just in Philadelphia, so that's okay.
At least they're not throwing snowballs at him. That's a good thing.
That's right. My first question, Mike, you collect a lot more vintage than I do. Any surprise with this new card cutting? I don't even know what we call it anymore. Scan, whatever. With this
trimming assholes.
Yeah, trimming, whatever we want to call it. We know it's an ongoing thing, but it seems like it's raised its ugly head again. Do you have anything more or less? Or we all know if you have enough of them, then everybody might have something in their collection that's trimmed. But at the end of the day, does it really bother you at this point?
No, not at this point. I've actually kind of had a little bit of change of heart on this whole issue, a little bit.
Okay.
If y'all watched the Blue Jackets video, right?
Yeah, I have not yet. No, not out of the millions on this subject so far. No, I haven't seen Blue Jacket, but
he told a story about a 1915 Cracker Jack card that had been torn in half. He sent it off to a professional paper restorer, and they restored the card. And he sent it off to PSA, told them it was altered, and they slabbed it authentic altered. To me, once you own a card, you can do whatever you want to it.
Right.
However, the problem I have is the disclosure part. If I want to trim a card to make it look nicer, send it to PSA and tell them, hey, I trimmed this card, and then they, slap it accordingly, authentic, altered, or whatever. Okay. It's the disclosure and the sneakiness of it that bothers me, the deception that's intended with most people that trim cards. That's the problem I have with it. People buy authentic, altered cards all the time, It's not even that they're necessarily a bad thing. It's when you try to deceive someone else and not disclose it. That's the problem.
Right. I'm with you on that 100% because that's like the only way I can get some higher end stuff is to not necessarily altered but damaged at least, pinhole or paper loss or that's about the best thing I can do is find something along those lines and get the best shape I can afford. So I agree totally with you on that. But it's just when I had you on here, having a real vintage collector, I finally get to talk to.
I think the problem is, and I don't disagree with anything Mike said, but the problem is I think there's very few.
There he goes. He's in South Philly. We done lost him. We're gonna put up signs to find you, Mike. Last week he was perfect the whole hour. It was me that was having the issues in my house, in my apartment. The next question that I had for you was with the national coming up and I know you love to, you're always scouring for good deals. And I know we ask you this year in and year out, but I still want to follow up. Are you changing the way your habits are at this moment leading up to the show?
A little bit this year. We're doing a lot of stuff. I mean, I just have a lot of personal stuff going on. Everybody has limits on what they can spend. And so I'm not going to be buying as many things leading up to it. So I'll probably slow down over the next few weeks. And it doesn't mean I won't pick up cheap stuff every once in a while or still make some pickups. It's just not full bore. I got a daughter getting married. It's like, okay, hold up.
Graduation and then get married right after that, huh?
Yeah, and I've got stuff I'm doing around here. I've got
right.
There's just, again, we all only have so much money. Some people's is bigger, like Mike's budget. He's not even here to defend himself, but his budget, got a lot of comments.
I can hear you.
Yeah. Well, congratulations, Papa Mike. With that, next we'll be hearing Grandpapa Mike. That's. I just became a grand uncle, so I'm happy with that. So it's
So I mean, it's every year it's different, and I'm taking less money. Well, my plan is currently to take less money, but who knows? I'll still be able to buy. I'll still be able to have plenty of fun.
Right. That's. I've been talking to Mike some about it, and I moved from Iowa to North Carolina this year. I'm working with the same company, but the bonus structure is different, which I didn't really know 100%. So that was usually my money for the show. So I don't have that money this year. So it's a little different for me going into this one. I don't know if I'll be getting like I did the last time in Chicago, but where I pulled out the satchel, satchel, Clemente and Gretzky rookies. Or not, the satchel wasn't a rookie, but the 53 tops. But I'll still have fun no matter what.
I think that's an thing I don't want to skip over this because it's important for people to understand that no matter what your budget is for the national, you can have a great time.
Right.
And it's about people. It's about experiences. It's about, like, I have a lot of fun going around once I run out of money and helping other people find cards for themselves, And I remember that Mike Messina $5 rookie PSA 9 or something. Remember that?
Yeah, you were quite jealous of that little find.
I was jealous because I just bought one. And I'm like, dang,
for what was it, like $10 or $15 though? So
yeah, it was, but that was a great find because it was cheap. I thought it was like $10, more than $10.
Hey, we're guys that like sports. We're gonna have we're gonna have competitions between $5 and $15.
That was Cleveland, right? The Musina.
Yeah. 18.
Heading back there next year, 2024, right?
Yeah, that's the plan.
So I don't. Do you have any? I know you get information. Do you know any information of where it's going to be at after next year?
Yeah, it'll be Chicago 2025.
Oh, is that what they did back to Chicago? Okay.
Oh yeah, they alternate Chicago, and then supposedly we're going back to Atlantic City in 2026.
That's I'm telling all these guys this.
I don't buy that.
It's not going to happen. I was like, it's too good of a deal.
I didn't say I'm just telling you.
Because they know people are going to come regardless. Bitch all you want, people will be there. So
hey, there's definitely positives for Atlantic City, at least, if you live around the area I do. But outside of that, I don't know how many positives there are.
Well, the positive, the venue itself was fantastic.
Oh, yeah. If you could just put a bubble around that and build, a skyscraper a mile high for us to stay in. It'd be
That would be
amazing.
nice. Yeah.
Well, with the
Got to lock down that crack house for 2026 there, BBC.
I'm on it. I'm on it.
we're all going to be doing. I think everybody's doing the same thing.
Mike, how do you think about our money for the show? We were selling crack in between, we were up to turns out on the corner.
So
I didn't see anyone selling to buy, but I certainly saw multiple people being offered.
Right.
I think it took Bob Lewis about 14 seconds of being there before someone asked him.
Yeah.
Are you? I did, man.
That was right outside. Wait, were you there for that first pizza place? There were like 15 of us, and some lady approached them. I was like, "Yep, we're in Atlantic City.
No,
This is gonna be a fun weekend."
And of all people, they went to buy. I guess because he's skinny. I don't know. We'll go to the tall, skinny guy.
Bob's going to take that as a compliment. I'd love somebody to call me skinny. That'd be a great day.
I'd be like, yeah, I'm not saying it's bad. It's just like, I guess, out of the 15 guys, I can imagine. I know who he was with, so like, he went to Bob.
He was also being pushed to the outside of the group, so that way, he'd be the first they'd grab. So,
well, Mike, you were saying that because I hear all these things that you should do and hack and everything. I know last year, because how the show and everybody was so separated and everything, and I think it's going to continue this year because not everybody's being able to stay in that area again because I don't know why it was so hard to get hotel rooms this year, but we'll find out when we get there. Because if it's that many people, it's going to be a tough walk around that place. But
tough to get a hotel with a hobby that's dead.
I just think it's going to be. I found out it was good to be in as many text groups as I could get in. And what I mean is like if the arena is going to be so big and so many people, to have people let people know what you're looking for. So that way, if because James Gilliam is in the chat, me and him, we were talking all day. There's a couple of other ones that we could. I had, I think Mike did too. T-Mobile. My phone actually worked in there.
T-Mobile for me worked amazing during the National. Worked
Right.
like hell for this walk, so that's why I'm headed home. But
so I mean, is that something that people should do? Is try. I mean, not everybody can go and know as many people as we know in this hobby, but my gosh, I know that helped me out last year tremendously. Trying to, I mean, you helped me get my Nolan Ryan to complete my run in the 60s. So it was just good to have feelers out and let people know what I was looking for. Is that something that people maybe should try to do? Is get in many different text groups? Because I'm going to show something here in a minute that you didn't show in your video. I sent it to Eric while I was watching your video to let you know how big this. Have you seen the floor yet? Has anybody shown you the floor?
I've seen it.
Yeah,
it's bonkers how big it is.
Yeah.
And yes, it takes a village, because unfortunately, no matter how many days you're there, there's going to be just stuff you miss. Not intentionally. You're just going to, walk over a table or walk by a table and not glance at the right moment or see somebody might be blocking it or who knows. I mean, there's
right.
To have a group of people that, first of all, you got to let them know what you're looking for. And, then it's shocking how many cards have been found for me by other people over the years.
Right. Yeah.
And I'm grateful
it
for
seems like you always have a good story after or during the show, or because you're like me. You want to see what everybody picked up. It doesn't matter if it was out of the dime box, out of the $1 million box. We just want to see cards because all cards are equal to me. Maybe not in value, of course, but in how good they look or whatever. And but all of them going to have a story to the person. So it's just nice to help people out in those stories. I mean, when I met Mike, me and him got to Clemente Rookie, and what we went through to get that was kind of fun, and we have that story with each other. So I'll go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt you, Mike.
No, you're fine.
Go ahead.
You know, if he doesn't get his technology crap together, we just need to not let. I mean, he's an amateur.
It's his first day here.
Yeah, first day on YouTube. First day yeah, I mean, just have people. Don't be afraid to share what you're looking for. It's highly unlikely that somebody else is looking for the same card, and even if they are, unless it's super rare, there's going to be plenty to choose from. You know, if you want a Clemente Rookie, there will be plenty to choose from. You know, or whatever. You know, pick your card. They're not you know, hard to find, but what's cool is you want to see as many as you can. You know, I want to see as many examples of a Clemente Rookie, if that's what I'm looking for, as I can. And more people can see more things faster, really.
Right. Yeah, that's because I like to walk around with people and talk and chat, but sooner or later you gotta kind of branch off and do your own thing and, you know, get into it. Get into it.
I think that's important. I tell my friends all the time, like, hey, I want to go look at cards for a little while. Nobody's, you know, everybody's cool about it. We all understand. Right. Oh, Mike, welcome to your first day on YouTube. Congratulations.
Yeah, well, I should be back for good now.
But finishing my thought, if you just, you know, you do need to if you're looking for cards, again, if you're out of money or you're what you've done, you know, you bought what you want. I usually spend the last day and a half just helping other people and walking around with other people because that's super fun too.
Right.
But man, when I want to look for my cards, I'm on the hunt. Like, love you, but I'll see you in a little while, you know?
Right. Last year to me, I was looking, but it just seemed like last year in the sitting area, whatever you want to call it, VIP area, whatever, there was always a group of guys over there hanging out. And it just seemed like that was a fun spot too. So that was fun as well last year. He just kind of, I didn't really like the way Atlantic City was really laid out. I didn't have a problem with the venue. I kind of wish he just separated put all the dealers together and then put all the grouping together. And I hope that's what they do in Chicago. It kind of looks that way. This was what I was talking about.
You're going to share the floor plan?
Yeah. So this is the floor plan here. And this right here, if you look at this side here where they're going to do the autographs and everything, this is where they lined people up at last year. And that isn't even really where they lined up. They actually lined up over here, if you can see my cursor. And this is even further back. And then they do I call it the elephant walk across the hallway in the morning. When I pulled this up the first time, and a guy last year showed it to me, and he was just talking about how they were just going to open up back here. But on Sunday, I was looking through a box, and me and got a conversation with one of the dealers, and he was talking about how many people were bitching the day of the tables being sold at that show. And I guess maybe that's what opened up so much floor plan. I don't even know if you're going to get through all of this in a couple of days. I don't know if you came in on a Saturday, would this be just so overwhelming, like for a one day, or you just pick a spot?
Well, you got to remember by the main entrance. I can't point with my finger, but
This is the main
entrance. Remember, they allocate tables by tenure at the show, right? So those first tables as you walk in, if you could point to where that main entrance is,
Yeah, so I was pointing on the wrong one. So this
Yeah.
is the main. They look like they're going to have two main entrances, but this is what you're talking about. This is where all
Yeah.
the old vintage guys are, same
And,
dealers that are there year in, year out.
yep. As you move further right and down are newer guys to the National. And you'll
Right.
find, I mean, back where all the corporate space was, Mike, remember how that was all the red carpet area over to the right?
Yeah, the nice soft area on your feet.
Yeah, the great area to walk around in. And there used to be
Right.
this giant not hallway, but just walkway there that separated those two areas. That's all covered. Like that's all tables now.
Right.
And
So that
so,
ramp area and all of that, PSA,
yeah, PSA used to be on the right, 2 years ago, right where you're pointing right now. That was PSA.
Right.
So it's gigantic and it's absolutely massive.
Yeah. And when I showed that to, Ed and some of the other guys, while we couldn't get a hotel rooms, I was like, well, look at the vendors have all the hotel rooms. And the guy I was talking to, too, there's going to be probably the largest corporate floor plan that they've had at any of the corporate footprint at any show that they've had before at this one. So I don't know if that's good, bad, indifferent. I don't know until we get there.
I mean, the corporate stuff is what it is. I mean, to me, it's every now and then you get a nice freebie. You check out what they have, but at least for me, I want to see a few of the same people, maybe whether it's one of the grading companies or whatever. But most of it, I mean, last year there were so many companies set up in the corporate area that I kind of assume will not be there this year because they might not be around anymore.
Yeah, that's why that was going to be my next question is how many, I mean, we're hearing layoffs and everything else, but, if they still have a company, it probably will have somebody there.
I do. The corporate area is good for like, hey, meet me at the Tops booth because you can easily, like, it's easy to find. That's what the corporate
big
area.
Signs, right?
Meet me over there.
I'm sorry because I used that was. I think the last year was meet me at the like blowout cards or whatever because you can find those. You can be across the arena and see the blowout cards. Now
you could say meet me at Zero Cool, but they won't be around. So
right.
The corporate area too used to be. I mean, it used to be more useful if you wanted to participate in that stuff, but now with it getting so big, it's like the silver packs from Tops. 5 years ago, you could buy discount boxes and get a couple silver packs and get some cool stuff, or even use some of it to, get some for your collection, get some to help pay for something cool you're going to get at the show. And like, as years have gone on, it's getting harder and harder. And now it's like, do I really want to go over to Tops? I'm not going to wait in line for 2 hours to get, one pack of cards. It's just, if that's what you're into, cool. But
the Panini silver packs last year were crazy priced. That people are buying them up. To each his own. I'm turning more into the buying singles and less packs.
Took you that long and that many baseball collector videos to learn that?
Look, I still open up one pack a day to get the shake out of me. But, we all, and I've seen Mike open too. We all love to open. It's just something about busting a pack and seeing what's in it. It's just, especially like around opening day, right? It's just that joy of the season and opening up. My problem with, I just can't believe Topps has only came out, or Fanatics, with really 2 retail things so far this year. We're a quarter away through the season and we've only gotten 2 releases retail. Bravo, or are we mad about that? I don't know what to be about. Happy or mad, I really don't know. And there's still packs on the shelves of the stuff they've already made. So
plenty of it.
Yeah, plenty of it out there. It's definitely a different world, and I saw today on Tops.com that I could tell that Fanatics is taking over more and more because coming soon is the pre-release of Top Series 2, the pre-sales. So they're making more and more like a release and all of that stuff, more Fanatic style. So I think I'm a little bit more. I used to sell tennis shoes in my young days, and I'm more and more on that. Well, they were going to do the zero code retail until Mike killed them a moment ago. Jeez. Okay, Carlos. So
Carlos was sad tonight because the Stars are down 0-2 in the Western Conference Finals of the Stanley Cup. So,
well, him and Bobbles can cry on each other's shoulders. It'll be all right. My team didn't even make the playoffs, and I was going to ask you, how is it in that area? Is hockey big right now down there?
Yeah, I mean, only during playoff time.
Right.
The Rangers are in first place thanks to their season beginning sweep of the Phillies. It was a great start to the season.
Been waiting for that.
Yeah, and the Rangers they're one of the great surprises this year in that division or in baseball together.
Yeah, there's a lot of. I like it. Like, I went to an Angels game Friday. That was pretty fun. I got to see Shohei for the. I don't know if that's the first time I've seen him live, but Trout didn't play. That was disappointing. But it was great. It was a good game.
Right. That live baseball, nothing better than going out to the old yard, watching the game. I'm a half a mile to a mile away from a high A ball stadium, but other than that, I got AAA down in Charlotte for the White Sox. But
so tell me the crew that's staying with you guys at the National in your Airbnb.
Go ahead, Mike. You run it off.
I don't know. I was
it's me, Mike, Ed, me, Mike, Ed, Dave, Midlife Card Crisis,
Eastern Connecticut.
Yeah, which is Fabian, and Purple GT.
Steve.
Yep. And
so we've got me, Garrett, Andy, JT, Canadian Mike. So there's 5 of us. So we'll trade you a Canadian Mike and a JT for an Ed Wester drift. What do you say? We'll do it.
As long as you drive him to the airport at 3 a.m.
Yeah, he's got. Well, you'll be gone because you're leaving Saturday, right? Is that what you said? Right. Yeah. So we're gonna leave whenever we get ready on Sunday. We're out as of right now. But we'll let Ed know that he's interested in a trade. He's also been in a trade talk with some of the other guys that are staying like an hour away. I don't get that one, but to each his own.
I wonder if Ed's going to shed a tear when we tell him, Ed, you've been traded.
Yeah, Ed, you've been traded. I love my Canadian cards. He's a good guy. He's good chat, but Ed is too. I know Ed's a good cuddler. I don't know about Mike.
Mike gets a little salty, so you got to be. Andy had to sleep with him last year, so.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
See, we all have our own bed, so it's gonna be hard for that trade to work. So right now we all have our own sleeping place. So
we're at the Hyatt Regency, and we have a 2-level suite that Garrett booked a year ago. And a year before, right when the National was going on, he was like, I'm getting our spot now.
So was that when Garrett was
for him?
Was he out on the water when he posted that? Wasn't he out?
No, he left a few months later.
Okay.
He just got back from a 9-month deployment, and he's been posting content and having fun. Oh my gosh.
Now
we had to have a non-mic on. Nats man has said been on a little hiatus. So I want to make sure he's always got an open invite to this.
Boogity, boogity, boogity. We're racing, boys.
It's tonight at Wilkes-Barre?
Yeah, since 1996.
Yeah. Yeah, big
All-Star,
big
yeah. I always enjoyed working the All-Star in Concord, but this is history right here. So
Yeah,
Sorry,
so
I'm late.
no, that's all right, man. I know you're wanted to watch it. Matt's man is a retired police officer, so he worked all of those. What you been into, Nats man?
Officially retired again. Decided to go ahead and do a second hiatus, and
Gotcha.
so just started that and figuring out what to do now. You know,
Right.
but that's keeping up. Just kind of watching about the ACC too. I'm kind of concerned about the ACC, and I'm just drunk on stupidity for the Nationals this year. I got a nephew, his baseball team, little league team's the Nats. And I hate to say it, I wouldn't say it, but they suck as bad as the real one. Thank God they're playing for fun. But,
Well, speaking of ACC, this NIL stuff, man, we're going to jump back in a little bit of the hobby stuff. Has anybody picked up any? I haven't seen really any of this opened or my hobby shop posted a printing plate that was opened at their shop of the girl from Iowa. So that was pretty big rep. But is that something that interests anybody? Any of these college cards? I mean, it didn't interest us when Leaf and Panini was doing this stuff before. Why would it interest us now when Topps is? I don't understand it. I just don't. It is nice to get some of the stuff on singles, like for Virginia players, but there's not much of that out there. But you know, I don't really understand what's going on with that.
Talked about it enough, Scott, that we don't need to talk about it anymore.
Right? yeah,
I feel like there's probably an audience for it, but it's going to be fairly small pockets here and there. I mean,
right.
If you're in cities with 4 major sports teams, like I feel like the interest level is going to be.
I think the hobby understands that it's not their rookie cards. It's not it's not even. I don't even know if it's XRC. It's just cards with their names on it, and with now that they got rights to some of the colleges with Fanatics. But
I just know one person that really his whole life has loved college football, and he's a Georgia fan, unfortunately, but that's like Mike was saying, I think that's the niche that may scratch that if they've got an interest in the hobby, but I don't think mainstream. I guess they thought they were printing money, like you said.
Zero long-term value there.
If it came out 3 years ago, it would have been the hottest thing in the world, but unfortunately it came out now.
So James.
Well, that NIL actually, to me, is more for like if you're going to shoot commercials in your local area or signings in your local area, that whatever. Making the cards, I think they're kind of missing the target on that one with the hobbyist out there. Maybe people that are new. I don't want to name drop somebody that used to buy the NBA draft when it first came out and it was all college uniforms. They didn't understand that everybody wanted the pro uniforms. Mike talked about it a little bit in his if they're an influencer or not. But they I gotta make sure which Mike I'm talking about.
There's a few.
When you brought that up, it just put off a red flag. Now,
I wonder if there would be any. I got a quick question though. Within that niche, do you think it may, like if the ACC goes defunct, or like Dion, if there was any Colorado cards, I would think maybe those might have something for that niche, but not mainstream, right?
Yeah, but I mean, I'm with Mike. I'm shaking my head. No, I don't understand it. I didn't understand it when and Topps, I think, is they're putting it at $70 on their website. And they need to put it at about $25. I don't even
more I'll
know.
give them.
Well, if they want to give me a box for free and I'll open
I
it,
mean,
then
it's like if like say they make some card of some guy who becomes the next whoever, Tom Brady, Michael Jordan guy, which is unlikely to happen. Like, and they have a card and no one else makes a card for a while or something, like, of course there could be some future value of some kind, but the
Right.
odds are, most of the guys aren't people who are going to make an impact. I mean, look at regular baseball, baseball, football especially. Look at like football card, open a product from 10 years ago. 99% of the guys are out of the league and just aren't collected by most. So,
right, and that's my point. Like we were talking about it before with baseball cards, because I've been noticing, as long as you're not in the market for the big boy cards, to me the vintage cards went up to where they might have should have been and fallen down to a level where they might should be, but new cards, we all know that was dumb pricing, people not knowing what they were doing, new people in the marketplace, people listening to other people. We're getting smarter as a hobby, so they're coming down to reality. But they're still most of them are still overpriced ridiculously. That's this thing with their hobby crashing or something. To me, I don't even think it's. I don't think it's crashing because I think the cards that should be priced high are priced high, and then the rest of them are kind of getting to where they need to be. I mean, what I've talked to Michael enough. Mike, what do you, Mike Moran, what do you think about that? Because I mean, you've talked about the vintage coming down, but the rookie cards and stuff that have gone up, a lot of those were undervalued to begin with. I mean, do you feel that? 4 years ago, I feel like I would sit in a card shop and somebody would talk about a new guy, and I'd be looking at a guy from the 60s rookie card, and it's a third the price of the guy that's coming out of a Bowman pack that has never played a day of baseball, even then. So I think they're getting a little bit better on the pricing. What do you think on that?
If you drew a line from pre-pandemic to now on vintage, and you disregard and you just went point to point and kind of disregard craziness, vintage is right where it should be. Right. It's the slow burn, right? And it's hard to lose on vintage over time, assuming you're picking, if you buy a Don Lossy, if Scott Reindeer's in here, he'll shoot me through the screen, but
go watch it later.
Just the way you're picking the right stuff. If you're buying Hall of Famer stuff, rookies, all that, it's just slow and steady. And the craziness that happened, it's come down certainly from that, but so is everything. And that doesn't mean crash. It just means normalization to me. All right, we're getting back to normal. Things are a little bit higher. We have a new normal. Things are higher than they were before. And probably, again, if you just drew a line, you'd be like, oh, that's a pretty steady, slow increase of vintage. Everything we expected over the last 30 years that vintage does. So it's not surprising, but
yeah. And I just wanted to make sure to get my thoughts and make that validates me as a hobbyist. I know vintage now. That's all I want to.
This is your show, so we have to validate you. That's kind of that was in the contract. Me.
I just want to feel better about myself. So my next question is: in your video, you said you had a list of 600 some odd cards that you still need. I imagine that is for the PSA directory or PSA registry.
Most of it, but not all of it.
I know I saw some of the pickups you got last year because, I mean, you picked up some nice stuff outside your PSA registry as well within it. But what is it? Just something that you see and it just gets your needle moving, or what makes you move off of what you focus on? Because I know you're pretty focused collector all year long, and then it kind of sometimes. I think we all get that way at the National. But what makes you move off of that?
Yeah, I think all collectors see squirrel, and
Right.
we will kind of get off target a little bit. Last year, I picked up a Sadahara O card because I started talking to Robert, at his booth, and
Right.
I thought it was really cool. I bought a Jeter SP rookie sign that wasn't on my radar at all, and I'm like, that's pretty cool. Just stuff that is unique and different. I'd love to pick up some Redman cards just because I don't have any, and I think they're really cool. I don't know. I don't know how to describe what it is. It's just
Right.
when a squirrel runs across in front of my face, I pay attention, and I kind of get in trouble buying lots of stuff. I don't intend to. At the Burbank show, I got a Dirk Nowitzki Topps Chrome rookie.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know.
So you went to the Burbank show. That was pretty good size, pretty good turnout, correct? I mean,
Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah, because I don't know if this is also added to the National where Dallas has great turnouts, Philly, Chantilly, Burbank now, and kind of, the National went here, hold my beer. Let me show you what we can do.
Cleveland rocks.
Yeah, I kind of hope the turnout is there because I'm hearing a lot of grumbles of people changing their minds and not going because of financial reasons. I just hope the turnout is there. And I think it will be. I think it really will be there. So
I got a question. Since I was late to the party again, I apologize. But was there any discussion about the Jim Brown cards going through the ceiling, and you think it's going to stay up a day or two? When do you think it may drop? Because I was looking on here, I think that it's up $946 in a week.
Tends
you
to
think
happen.
That's just going to
player that big of a name and had such a crossover in normal life outside of football. I mean, socially and everything else, and had some dramatic stuff in his regular life. Kind of think that would happen with him, but it'll come down eventually. I would think come back down a little bit.
I think it's creating some new comps, so it will raise the price most likely permanently to a degree, but of course it's going to come back down a little bit. It's just I feel like the death of a guy that big, the slow burn, it just accelerates a little bit. And then, of course, it's going to pull back, but it doesn't necessarily go back to where it was maybe a week ago.
Right.
That's what I would expect.
Somebody looking at it like that, and it's a vintage card. Do y'all have any advice to somebody that wants to get a card like that? Not necessarily that card, but something similar.
Yeah, I was going to say, wait a few weeks.
Wait. Be patient.
And I'm sure his autograph is probably, what do you think, gone through the roof, or probably, and they'll probably stay that way because he won't be autographing anything anymore unless he's like Stan Musial and signed 5,000 stickers to put on things.
Pete Rose, yeah.
Ask Mike. Mike's got like 10 of his autos, so
that would be fake news.
So I have a Jim Brown. So.
I would like to have had picked up his rookie at some point, but I remember looking and thinking a little bit like years ago and never did. And then like even I feel like his stuff starts shooting up even a couple years before the boom. Like he just started getting in the conversation a little more or being recognized. I was like, it's an underrated card. It's an underrated card. And once a card's on the radar of enough people as being an underrated card, it suddenly becomes a expensive card.
That happened to the Hank Aaron rookie.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I genuinely believe that was from everybody talking. I mean, we all talked about it. Like, never a bad time to buy a Hank Aaron rookie. Well,
that's right.
You know,
and I love the your quote, and I don't know who said it first or who I heard first between you and Eric, is yesterday's overpriced is today's deal or whatever.
So it's today's high prices or tomorrow's discounts, and
That's right.
That's something like we'd all love to go back 5-6 years and buy card. We'd buy every card we could,
Right.
that's done whatever's happened, no matter what, even though they've come down, they're still way higher than they were. And
right.
You're in the hobby long enough, you go, man, I look back, man, I was a genius. No, you just you're not a genius. You just bought a good card, and welcome to the situation where the rising tide lifts all boats. And
right.
I remember when you could buy a PSA 5 Jim Brown rookie for $400. Good luck with that now.
Right.
But that's true of so many cards. I remember National, I could have bought a PSA 5 53 Bowman color mantle for $150. Now that was 2014. That was almost 10 years ago. And I didn't do it. I'll get it some other time. And then I pay 10x for the same card. You know what I mean? I pay 10x for a lesser card years later. That's the nature of this hobby. If you want something and you enjoy it, and today's high prices are tomorrow's discounts. That's it.
Right. And
when it comes to top tier talent / vintage or rare cards,
dude,
because most of the time with first Bowman Chromes, every now and then you have a Mike Trout. Hey, if you bought that for $75, it was a bargain. But most of them, you can buy for $1.75 in 10 years.
That's what a lot of people come into the hobby. I mean, that I see. I'm curious what y'all think. Is that they think it's going to be, they get these cards and they think it's going to be a quick flip for your average player that in 10 years is a superstar. Baseball, it's a long-term hold on a lot of these guys. You think there's still a lot of folks still thinking that they can get something quick and cheap and make a fortune off of it, or
I think that's
you think it's leaning more. They're leaning.
We see people leave because it's starting to get tough. It's a grind now instead of the easy flip.
People are learning some hard lessons, and again, those lessons are not new. None of this, like, oh my gosh, I can't believe.
I think it's more people at one time, a wider spread of people this time. But you always hear these stories, horror stories, where people, and it's not just in the card world, it's whatever, put money on a credit card, going to make I'm going to be a millionaire, and it just doesn't work that way.
I mean, we can even look at recent hobby history. I'm not going to pick on Mike O, but the Alec Boehm and Mickey Moniak, or pick your Phillies guy that's going to be the next thing.
I will have the audience know I never purchased a Mickey Moniak, more than $1 or so. So,
well, even a player,
plenty did.
Who's the guy that's on the IL for y'all? That's Rhys Hoskins, right?
So your boy Rhys.
Hoskins is a good player, right, when he's healthy, but he was priced for, all these players get priced as they're going to be, upper level Hall of Famers, and look, who can live up to that? Who can actually? Right. And Rhys Hoskins isn't a bad player, or
a very small percentage of players.
Well, you haven't got. I mean, that poor Jason Dominguez. Whenever he comes up for the Yankees, if he ain't the next Mickey Mantle, he's not worth anything in the card world. I mean,
Yeah, and you got. Gosh, even Wander Franco and
Lewis Robert.
Who?
Lewis Robert.
Yeah, Lewis Robert.
He's having a great year.
I'm actually looking to redo some things here. I bought a bunch of Gavin Lux. They're going to be my floor. Yep. It's Gavin Lux slabs, PSA 10s, for $3 a piece. I bought 1,000 of them. It's just people.
I kind of want to see you follow through on this and do a video.
That'd be cool.
Walking on it.
I know of what's the guy, the White Sox third baseman? I know somebody has plenty of them. You could probably do a corner of your floor.
To be honest, it's amazing. I've actually sold quite a few of them this year. I don't know why people were buying them, but the funny thing is, though, here's the thing. So I have plenty of Juan Moncada cards, right? But I've sold a bunch and I haven't lost money on them. I've actually gotten like $10 for a bunch of Gem Mint 10s, $12. But when I got them graded, it only cost me $7 a piece. And the cards, were dollar cards then. So it's
Right.
$8 in. The problem is 2020, even guys whether they're good or bad, like Alec Boehm's been a pretty good player, obviously played in the postseason. And he's decently collected. Like he's more saleable if it's the right card than Gavin Lux, because Lux has just not been on the field and he's missed this entire year. But a lot of people paid $20, $30, $40, $50 to get those cards graded, and now they're having to sell them for $10 because there's such a huge pop count on them. That's where pop count matters. A lot of times people like to say pop 6. It's like, who cares? They only made 10 of that card. But that's, the 2020 products are where really it's like, no, you do look at the pop count. There's 28,000 Gavin Lux, and how many true Gavin Lux collectors are there? It's not a huge number.
Well, we
were around when he was supposed to be hot.
We're getting late into this hour, so Mike, I didn't get to see the end. How did you do? Or I know when are you leaving on your trip
For
Ecuador?
I don't want to disclose when I'm going to be out of the country.
Okay. Later this month, next month, 2 months before the national?
In 4 years.
Pre-national. Yes.
Pre-national. Okay.
Yes.
Right. I commend you on that. My father used to do the same thing when he was younger. So.
Well, we raised $3,500, which is
that was
bonkers. So cool.
Good job on that.
That was just Chris, by the way. That was all Chris Dameron.
Well, I want you to be careful when you do that. Y'all just keep your head on the swivel while you're down there. So
we will.
Be careful. Yeah. We want to see you at the national. And the next thing is the national Thursday night again, right? Same spot, Chicago as usual.
Thursday night, Embassy Suites on there. They have like a
second floor
level, like a big open seating area. It's really great for the get together because you can spread out. And the only annoying thing is that there's no bar. You have to walk back down this one little flight of stairs, and it's hard if people are coming for the first time. You got to walk in and kind of, if y'all remember, but you walk around and go up. So we'll probably have guys going back and forth, hopefully kind of directing people. I don't know how to describe that. Mike, can you describe that better than me?
Probably not. But the thing is, I mean, now people
you gotta walk through a doorway and then go up the steps.
Nowadays, they'll see the line for your autograph going all the way down the steps and all the way out there. So I feel like people will be able to find it pretty easily now.
No, I'm doing autographs on Friday, Mike. I'm doing autographs on Friday. I won't be signing anything tonight. I will take
but how much more are the premium items? I know the flats are a little cheaper because they're easier for you to sign real quick, but
yeah, rookie cards are twice as much. It's going to be a great time. I'm hoping we'll have, what did we have in Chicago 2 years ago, Mike? 100 plus guys.
Yeah, it's grown kind of year after year. I mean, I don't know, maybe last year was a little more difficult.
Make sure you bring your Pelican case.
There was a lot of people last year in Cleveland upstairs in that little area.
But
you mean
AC?
I mean AC. I mean Atlantic City. Yeah.
But Chicago seems to every 2 years, just the biggest, just the most central location. I know some people were kind of iffy on Atlantic City. Atlantic City is a little more difficult to travel to. And Chicago typically is a little closer where everyone's staying. I know this year might be a little more spread out than your typical Chicago year, but it still should be easy enough for people to get to. So
we're
I would think
1 mile.
The turnout should be huge.
Yeah, it'll be Thursday night, 7:00.
And people came in and out at the last one, and that's why it was so hard to know how many people were there. Because you had an early group, and then Ryan's thing ended, or it got later, and then everybody moseyed back from that. So we had like two different groups coming in and out.
And everyone should attend, whether you're a viewer, you're someone who makes videos, right. Whether you have 3 subscribers or 20,000. It doesn't
want to talk to somebody.
It's a group of everyone, and people are hanging out in little groups, and then I always try and bounce around as much as I can to say hello to as many people as possible. And a few years ago, 5-6 years ago, it was easy because it's 20, 40 people, and now it just gets so big. It's tough.
Yeah, this will be the 5th year that we've done this, which is kind of crazy to think about. So I'm just excited to, see all my friends again, and all of you guys. So
yeah, that's it. Like this year, I'm making a trip out of it. I'm trying to top my last Chicago trip, which was hard. It's going to be hard to do. Chasing the Dragon. So just trying to have as much fun as possible, and the people are the hobby. The cards are fun and everything else. We have fun getting those cards, but it's fun to share them and tell the stories. So
you never know when you're going to make a memory just from buying a $5 Mike Mussina rookie card, or
right.
Trading some ultra modern rookies for Roberto Clemente rookie. You never know what's going to inspire you or who you're going to be with when you make those purchases. So that's just like you said.
Here's a guy I want to shake his hand.
The people, are what makes the National. I mean, obviously going to the show is awesome. We're all going there because we enjoy cards, but I always take time, like you guys were talking about before. I always have to take time to walk the show because I'm generally, when I'm going to the National at this point, I'll pick up some BS, cheap random cards that I run into like everyone else. But like, I'm sitting there looking for like the pre-war stuff that I know I may only run into at the National. So you got to take some time to look at things, but the most fun times can certainly be just walking and, chatting it up with everyone.
Yeah.
I want to say, like, Mike and I met for the first time at the 18 National, I think, in Cleveland. Like, we did, obviously watching him on videos for years and all of that. It's so much better when you get to shake somebody's hand and, have a few laughs and talk cards and talk life and whatever. It changes everything about the way you consume content, about the way you view people, and it's unique. It's a unique and very special experience.
Yeah, the first time I met you was 19 in Chicago. I came in on the Thursday, and the place wasn't even that packed. Remember when you could walk around and actually look at the tables back in 2019 on a Thursday?
All the way back in 2019.
All the way back. And you made sure I was at that. I think that was your first one that night. I didn't stay very long. I was tired. I was antisocial, but I made the next Chicago.
Is that the one where Ed slept till the next day?
Yes. Ed was just, it killed me. I was wanting to go up there and pour water on him or something.
You should have come back. Bob Lewis, I'm pretty sure, threw packs of cards at him or something. And he didn't budge. That's when we were like, shit, we might not have any more Wesker Griff in the community. He may never wake up. He wouldn't budge.
Well,
not even
Mike,
close.
I'm baseball collector Mike. I'm glad to have you on my first show on the road to the National second season of this. I'm excited to see you. I think it's 10 weeks, be my week off. I count it as my week off. So I think it's the 10 more weeks, 11 till the Sunday it's closing or something. He's got the countdown on. So whatever that is. So excited to see everyone. Excited to hear more stories. Until then, I should have somebody else next Sunday. I don't know who yet. I have feelers out. Which Dave, if you're still on here, I sent you a request on one of the socials. I can't remember which one, but I think it was Instagram. But anyway, till next time, any closing words, Mike, for the National or anything else?
Can't wait to shake y'all's hands again and hang out. It's going to be a blast.
Awesome. So till next time, like, share, tell a friend. Leave down below any questions you have, anything you need to say, anything you want to know before the National comes around. Until next time, see ya.
Peace.
Keep collecting.